Welcome back to the show. By the way, if you're a longtime viewer of Daytime, a familiar face coming up a little bit later on in the show, okay? That's the teaser. I'm just going to lay it out there right now. Another familiar face, by the way, is my next guest, contractor Ryan, back on the show. And today we are talking Christmas lights. They come in many different forms. Welcome back. Great to have you back. Let's just first of all talk about installation, because you know the one thing I think you probably are going to tell everybody at home, safety first. The first thing you need to think about, right?
Obviously we have to worry about the ladders and all of that stuff. It absolutely goes without saying, but what I really want to talk about is electrical safety today. Right? Because we're dealing with these Christmas lights. They're outside. You're standing in snow or water and you're plugging them in. It's not great. Not a good day.
not a good day, for sure. So what do you need to keep in mind? You know, keeping that in mind that it's wet out, whether it's snow or rain or whatever, slush. Why?
I brought something to actually have a little GFCI plug here, which is, we'll put it to the camera there. So this will detect a short, like the ground fault. Right? But this one is actually rated for weather. So it's not going to like trip if it's raining or stuff like that. It kind of has that new, this is brand new. So this is something that's very, very important. You want to be plugging your Christmas lights into this. Right? And a lot of people, and there's been some code changes. And like there's been some things.
Code changes?
Yeah, so outside your house, you probably have something like this.
Yeah, here, let me just hold this up. You want to get that, Kev? So yeah, I think everybody recognizes that, right? You have it outside your home. It's the old flip up, and then you plug it in.
We're not doing that anymore.
What's wrong with this?
We're not doing that anymore. There's a new, more complicated system. Right? So this is what we're installing these days. So you actually have, let's see if I can open that. This opens up. Your plug would be inside there, and then you remove this, and your wire would come down and have that nice bend, and it would be completely protected by the weather, right? So it's not going to be show it to the camera, right? So this is something that's relatively new, and we want to see. So we're installing a lot of those days, but that's going to keep you safe. Another thing that's really cool about keeping you safe outside is something I actually picked up on Amazon last night. I actually I bought it 2 nights ago for this. I thought this was cool. So we have the Christmas lights here. We have a little plug, right? So my dad used to wrap them in like grocery bags, when you tie them together.
I have some wrapped in plastic outside of my backyard.
But then, this here, right? Both of them go inside here, right? They plug in. There's a little weather seal there. This closes. And now this is like completely, I thought that was super cool.
I need to get one of those. That is so smart. Okay, gotcha. So is that part of then, the another thing we need to think about is that ground fault protection. Is that what these will all help us with, or is that separate?
This is what this is going to do.
That's only this one.
That's all it's going to do,
That's our ground fault protection right here.
But we should be talking about the types of extension cords that you use, right? Like I see this all the time, this kind of stuff outside, right? There's no ground on this whatsoever. We don't want to be using this, people. Let's not use that. Right? Let's use a heavier duty cord. This is from my truck. So we use this all the time.
I can tell it's a contractor cord right away by looking at it.
But it's got a ground on it. Right. See the difference? No ground, super important, stuff like that.
And when you go into any hardware store, right? I mean, it's plain as day. Outdoor extension cord. It actually says it
right there.
Right there. So make sure you keep that in mind.
We want to put those away. We don't want to use those.
LED lights, right? This is where everybody's going.
So I brought these. I was surprised. I went to find like an old light bulb.
I remember these.
I can't believe that we can still get these.
You can still buy these?
Yeah, they were $20 for this pack.
What?
Yeah, I'm returning it after, but I just, but I was surprised,
For sure.
Yeah, we want to do an LED. An LED is much easier on the electrical bill. They don't heat up. You remember grabbing this?
Right. When one went out and then you went right away to grab it and replace it, it was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, but these are nice and cool.
Bad day for everybody. Okay, so that is the way to go. These are cool all the time. And I guess the other thing is when one goes out, not the whole string. Remember those days?
Oh, I remember those days.
One went out, you're like, oh my goodness, got to find which one is the
it's just we don't do that anymore.
Another thing we wanted to talk about, this is pretty cool, and I think you're doing it this year, and that is having the permanent Christmas lights. Tell me about this idea.
This is really cool. So this is a local Ottawa company, Avalan Systems, Lighting Systems. They gave me the stuff to sample here today, but this is permanent. It goes up in your soffit, it matches your soffit, and it just is absolutely amazing. It's there all year round. You can use it for just soft mood lighting if you wanted to, but you can do Christmas, Halloween, you can do all kinds of stuff on the thing. Actually, I have one right here. Offset here. Let me just pull it up. So this is what this is, right? This is how It's quite long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Goes all the way around your house. Each one of these little pucks here, these little lights, are completely replaceable if one happens to burn out.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's controlled by a controller box right here that syncs to your phone. You can do all kinds of cool stuff, but it's actually protected. It's protected inside the box, so it has its own little breaker or what have you inside there.
Gotcha.
Which is absolutely awesome. You want to see it work?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, I want to see it work. Absolutely.
Back. All right, here we go. I have this. Here's
the
one
unveiling.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
Here's one right here. Can we get that on camera? I don't know.
Yeah. Kevin had it there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you can get different lighting. So can you mentioned Halloween, or maybe it's just winter?
Yeah.
You know, a theme.
You can do all kinds of stuff.
So there's an app then that you use?
There's an app on my phone. I have it right here. We can see if it's still connected because I connected it off. But let's see. Let's pick like I should wear my glasses. What about a Christmas adventure? Let's see what happens if I do that. That's the same thing. Let's see. There we go. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. So now it's like flashing. Isn't that cool?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you can have it flash like, you know, my wife pulls in the driveway, I have to clean up the house real quick, that'll start flashing.
Then it'll let you know. It's like a warning signal for you out there.
Yeah, but this stuff is absolutely awesome, I think, because it's one and done. You know, you're not worried about turning it on and off, you know, and that kind of stuff. You're not worried about getting the ladder out, trying to get up there. Like, no one. They're coming to do mine tomorrow. My wife doesn't know.
Really?
It's going to be a little surprise.
Well, she's probably watching the show, right?
Well, maybe.
On the repeats, 6 and 11 p.m., by the way, or on rogerstv.com. Ladders, very quickly, right? I don't think you should be doing this by yourself.
No.
Right? You should always have a buddy.
Yeah, you should always have someone hold your ladder for you. You should always have the right type of ladder. You don't want to be standing, you don't want to be too high. The angle is very important. All of these things kind of play into it. And there's actually, in construction, there's people, like there's courses called Working at Heights.
Right,
that we all have to take, right?
Yeah.
So the homeowners go, they get it, they throw the ladder up on the driveway, there's ice on the driveway. I actually had a really close friend of mine fall and hurt herself.
Really?
It was a disaster. So yeah, you want to be very, very careful with the ladders. But this is why we want to do something permanent.
Exactly. By the way, visit, there it is right there, contractorryan.com. If you want to, he's got some great videos on there that you can follow along with. He does a lot of great projects. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.